Fort Payne is a city and county seat of DeKalb County, Alabama, United States. At the 2010 census, the population was 14,012. In the 19th century, the site of Fort Payne was the location of Willstown, an important village of the Cherokee people. For a time it was the home of Sequoyah, a silversmith who invented the Cherokee syllabary, enabling reading and writing in the language. The settlement was commonly called Willstown, after its headman, a red-headed mixed-race man named Faltwell. According to Major John Norton, a more accurate transliteration would have been Titsohealy. The son of a Cherokee adoptee of the Mohawk people, Norton grew up among Native Americans and traveled extensively throughout the region in the early 19th century. He stayed at Willstown several times. During the 1830s, prior to Indian removal, the U.S. Army under command of Major John Payne built a fort here that was used to intern Cherokees until relocation to Oklahoma. Their forced exile became known as the Trail of Tears. By the 1860s, Fort Payne and the surrounding area were still sparsely settled. In 1878 Fort Payne became the county seat, and in 1889 it was incorporated as a town. The community of Lebanon had served as the county seat since 1850. With the completion of rail lines between Birmingham and Chattanooga, Fort Payne began to grow, as it was on the rail line. County sentiment supported having the seat in a community served by the railroad. In the late 1880s, Fort Payne experienced explosive growth as investors and workers from New England and the North flooded into the region to exploit coal and iron deposits discovered a few years earlier. This period is called the Boom Days, or simply the Boom. The iron and coal deposits turned out to be much smaller than expected. Many of the boom promoters left the region for Birmingham, and Fort Payne experienced a period of economic decline. By the beginning of the 21st century, the hosiery industry in Fort Payne employed over 7,000 people in more than 100 mills. It produced more than half of the socks made in the United States and was designated the sock capital of the world. Fort Payne houses the headquarters for the nearby Little River Canyon National Preserve, a 14,000-acre, 57 square kilometers, National Park Service facility established by Congress in 1992. The canyon itself is on Lookout Mountain outside the city limits. Another attraction based on natural resources is DeSoto State Park, a smaller facility with a lodge, restaurant, cabins, and river access areas. Manatee Cave is also near Fort Payne. The country music group Alabama is based in Fort Payne. The city also houses the group's fan club and museum. Fort Payne is notable for a subtropical climate. Winters usually feature measurable, though infrequent, snow. Cloudmont Ski Resort on Lookout Mountain generates man-made snow as winter temperatures permit. The area is subject to occasional tornadoes. The city's northern side was struck by an F4 tornado on May 19, 1973, causing considerable damage.